How do we implement our vision and goals into our lives and plan out our year in less than an hour? Stay tuned to find out. Today, we will plan out our entire year by taking all of our known calendars and schedules for the upcoming year, including any calendar entries that are associated with our vision board and SMART goals, and consolidating them all into one blotter calendar. We use a blotter for this for three reasons. First, the calendar spaces are bigger and allows for more room to write. Second, because the blotter calendar can be seen more easily when hung on a wall, a pegboard, or a bulletin board, and is a great visual reminder. And three, to have a overview of our entire year. So we're prepared for not only the things that we have to do, but also for the things that we want to do. The benefit of planning out your entire year is that it greatly reduces your stress load during the year because you've already laid out, discussed if you're in a relationship, and resolved any major overlapping schedule issues. When we don't plan out our year in advance, often our want to items don't get scheduled. So, what I mean by that is those New Year resolutions that are not requirements for you, but they are items that you want to accomplish this year. If you do not take the time to actually put them on the calendar, there will be no visual reminder for you to get those things accomplished. So, planning out the entire year, you can plan out your resolutions or your goals as well. Supplies for this video include the following: a blotter calendar, black and red pens, highlighters in yellow, orange, and green, or as an alternative to green, a blue, whiteout tape, and school, work, or organizational calendar dates and appointment and travel dates. To use a blotter as a great visual reminder, helping you to stay on top of upcoming appointments, do the following. For the entire year, write down all important calendar entries, making a checkbox to the left of each for the following: school and work, travel, and appointments. So for example, here I have written down important birthdays, and you see to the left of that birthday, I put a checkbox. Also, during this particular month, I was finishing up a fast. Also, on that holiday, Mother's Day, I put a checkbox next to that. Two checkboxes, one for my mom, one for my grandma. And then for the holiday, Memorial Day, I put a checkbox next to that too. Using a yellow highlighter, highlight the upcoming appointments for the month. So you will see that I have highlighted here when I was doing a fast. That whole week, highlighted it in yellow. For the birthdays that I put on there, highlighted those in yellow. And Mother's Day and Memorial Day for May. And then I have this one here that I'm going to highlight for you guys on camera. Just this one little date. So highlight all the dates for the month that are upcoming in yellow. Either daily or weekly, go back and verify completion of the items and make a check, an X or an arrow in the box to indicate whether or not the item is done and completed, forwarded to another day or rescheduled, or not done, not completed, or canceled with no rescheduling. So how that looks, this is the prior month. And just for example, this was a 2 days here where I had highlighted yellow some upcoming appointments, and I went back to the prior week, and you see here on the 27th, I have church on Wednesday, so I have church, Wednesday worship on the 27th, But I went back to the prior week on the Thursday before and put a check mark next to church and some other items. So you'll see check boxes all throughout, check marks. Some items that have an arrow indicates that that appointment was pushed to another day. And then appointments that have an X next to them, which was here on the 9th. Usually on Saturdays, that's my day of rest with God, but I did not do a day of rest that day. So there is a red X next to it, meaning I did not do it that day. So that is the system that you use with the check boxes. Highlight completed tasks using the following highlighter colors. So green and orange are what is used. If you do not have a green highlighter, but you have a yellow and a blue, just go over the yellow, which is what I do, with a blue, and it'll give you a green highlight. So use a green highlighter to indicate that action is done. So again, going back to that day on church on Wednesday, on the 20th, church is done. So I went over the yellow highlighter with blue to make it green. And then for the days where something had to be rescheduled, like that appointment on the 19th that has the red arrow next to it, it had to be rescheduled from Tuesday to Wednesday. So I put the arrow indicating it's moved forward. And then I highlighted underneath saying rescheduled to Wednesday. I did not write it here. Sometimes I will write it in the next box, but I didn't. I just underneath wrote rescheduled to Wednesday and put a check box next to that. And I did complete that appointment on Wednesday, so I put a check mark. So that tells me that I did complete it actually on Wednesday and not Tuesday. But like I said, sometimes I will write it in the box as well. Lastly, put an X over the days that have passed. So like I said, this is the current week showing on this calendar. So I went back to the prior weeks and just put a big X over those days to indicate that those days have passed. And now we're on to the next week. By updating the blotter daily or weekly, you can better keep a handle on what has and has not been done, what needs to be rescheduled, and what is upcoming.